It's time to head back to the 1920s in a Wizarding World Convergence. I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
For those of you that weren't aware, this is the event that was supposed to happen on the 7th and the 8th, but because of the rollout of the update, the new patch, the new version of the game had some bugs in it, so they postponed this. They ended up doing spotlight hours during that event, and we got some baby beasts and that kind of thing. But anyway, it was supposed to happen on the 7th and 8th, which was 2 days, and now it's going to be August 18th through the 20th, like 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., essentially midnight to midnight, if you want to think about it that way. And it'll be your local time, so your August 18th, like 12 in the morning, essentially, or 12 in the morning, midnight of that day, just turning over all the way through the 20th till midnight of that night. So you'll have a decent number of days to get this done, which is more than we originally would have had. So I don't know if everything's the same or if they added more. It really doesn't matter. It mainly revolves around port keys. Portmanteau, really. So as I said, the whole event is really about Portmanteau. You can see right here, it's going to be a teal-colored Portmanteau, and then when you unlock it, it becomes a port key. So that's why I made the difference there in my terminology. They are all 1 kilometer, and you'll just have to do like a normal port key. You just put, or excuse me, a Portmanteau. You'll put the key in, you'll walk for 1 kilometer, and you'll unlock it. A little bit different, and I'm kind of jumping ahead a bit, but these Portmanteau, if you don't have a key in them when the event ends, there's a timer on them, and I'm guessing it doesn't specifically say, but the timer, I think, runs out when the event ends, unless it's just a tiny bit after. But essentially, you're going to have some sort of key in it, or else it goes away. So if you have one of these Portmanteau you picked up and the event ends and you haven't put either a silver or gold key in it, then you don't get to hold on to it, which is kind of a bummer. I understand thematically they're trying to say this is, the convergence is happening. When the convergence ends, then these things would disappear. So thematically I do understand, but it is kind of trying to force people to throw those silver keys in. You can't just hold on to a bunch like I do on a lot of Brilliant events or other events like weekend events. I'll hold on to them and just walk them over the next couple days with a gold key. You won't be able to do that. You do need to have keys in, or just make sure you walk them during the event. They are only 1 kilometer, although we're still not in a great situation. I know not everybody can still just get out and walk wherever they want, depending on vaccination status and what your city, state, county's rules are and that kind of thing. Even in my county, we're actually going back under a mask mandate indoors. So I know things are still different in different parts of the world. So they are 1 kilometer, so a little easier to walk, but it's still not a great time to necessarily be out and about. Do the best you can. I've jumped into my registry because you also may or may not have noticed there's a new page in your registry. Because as opposed to this event just being a one-time thing, it's actually adding a new page, and I believe this is going to start to recur. We're going to get this month after month, or it's going to happen again and again. I'm not sure how often yet, but it'll happen again so that you can continue to fill it out. So if you look where I am right now, I'm on Care of Magical Creatures. To the left of it, there you can see that symbol there, and it has 1920s Wizarding World. So these Portmanteau, when you pick them up, they're all teal. Just teal, but when you open it, when you finally do open it, it's going to take you to one of 3 places, and it's the 3 pages you're going to see. Circus Arcanus, Paris Street, and Newt's Menagerie. Based on these, you can also see that this is based off the second Fantastic Beasts movie, not the first one, because the first one was in New York and this one was in Paris. And as far as I can tell, there's going to be no way you're going to know when you pick up the Portmanteau which one of these it's going to unlock. Even when it's unlocked, it looks like it's just a bucket. So even then, you have to open it, and you'll go into one of these 3 places. Now, when you go into one of these places, say Circus Arcanus, you're going to have the chance that a reward will be one of these, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And then, and here's kind of the different part, is you'll actually have an encounter with one of these things, and on each page there's 5 images. One of the images can be a reward from the port key. You just get the fragment from the port key. You don't have to do anything. The other one will actually be a foundable encounter, so as you exit the Portmanteau, however you exit it, it's not even on the overworld map. You won't be able to trace charm it. It'll just take you straight to the encounter, is how I've understood this event. You'll go immediately to that encounter. It can apparently depart, so good time to use potions, that kind of thing. When we're in the event itself, we'll figure it out better, and then we can make better choices then. But you'll have a chance to actually return that foundable. Each page has 4 potential foundables you could get. So when you open a Portmanteau, you have one of 3 locations, and then each location has 4 different possible encounters you could have. So you might not finish it all in these days. That's a lot of encounters to have. It's a lot of Portmanteau to walk and unlock and then open just to get one fragment. And you can see it's 7, 5, 5, 7, 3. It takes a decent number of fragments, more than just a couple, to actually place that image down on this page. And then, of course, it's going to go to the next page and the next page. So it'll be something we work on as the months go by, as they have more 1920s Convergence events like this. So the first 3 things I want to talk about are these 3 fragments up here, which is Bunty, which comes from Newt's Menagerie. So this is a reward you could get from that. Not a foundable encounter, you would just get the fragment. So you could get Bunty, and that will come from Newt's Menagerie if you happen to go there when you open up the port key. You can get the Maledictus poster from Circus Arcanus, or you can get the Lestrange family tree book, and that would come from the Paris Street. So again, those would come from opening the Portmanteau. You just get it as a reward, the port key, excuse me. And again, I'm not even sure if it's 100%. They just say it is a foundable reward. I would hope it would be a fragment each time, as I don't think that would be too overpowered, because you still have to walk 1 kilometer every time you just want 1 fragment. And most other Portmanteau or port keys from events usually do award a fragment of that event, kind of guaranteed. It's the fortresses that are sometimes and sometimes not, and that type of thing. But port keys tend to usually give us a fragment guaranteed of that thing. So in other words, you would hopefully get one of these 3 every time you opened up a port key. And now looking at the foundable encounters, you can see on this chart here, it actually has the 4 underneath each of the different 3 locations. So under Newt's Menagerie, you can see the Hinky Punks and the Lacrota, and then Newt's Augury, and then Paris Newt Scamander, which isn't a name or anything, just Newt Scamander when he was in Paris, since we do have some other versions of them in our registry already. Under Circus Arcanus, we have the Zuwu and the Kappa, as well as Credence and Nagini, because all 4 of them were involved with Circus Arcanus when we first got introduced to Credence and Nagini. They were together. And then the Kappa was there, and then the Zuwu is that giant dragon-like creature that goes around and stuff. It's from Chinese mythology. It's not even a specifically new thing from Harry Potter itself. And then lastly, from the Paris Street one, you can get Jacob Kowalski, you can get Queenie Goldstein, or the moving statue, and then Newt's case. And again, all 12 of these will appear as foundable encounters, so again, use potions if you don't want it to depart, or doll draft if you don't want, to limit the chance that it does depart. I'll probably just use extimula potions if they're higher threat, depending on which ones I'm getting. And again, you're not sure which one you're getting. When you open up that port key, depending on if it's the Paris Street versus Circus Arcanus versus Newt's Menagerie, then it means you're probably going to get one of those 4. And again, I'm not sure if these are guaranteed, like you will always have an encounter, but again, I would suspect that it would make sense that each time you get one, because it's not too overpowered for you to have one. You're walking these special port keys. You only have a couple days to do it, so it seems like you would get an encounter each time. In addition to the fact that port keys disappear at the end, so you can't even keep them over, I would imagine you get one every time, and it would still take a long time to get to those gold pages in your registry. Now, honestly, I think I would be fine with if they just did that as the event. You get these foundable encounters. I do hate that no matter what, you have to walk Portmanteau. It's really hard to participate in this without walking the Portmanteau. You're really not doing anything. You won't be getting any of the event stuff. It all revolves around walking those Portmanteau. But they did put tasks on, and you can see them right here. To be honest, if you're walking around just collecting the Portmanteau and opening them, you're going to complete all these tasks without actually having to specifically go after these tasks. So the first one is just to collect 8 ingredients or a Portmanteau off the map, which gets you a silver key, which is nice because then you can use that silver key to unlock some of these Portmanteau. But this one, if you're just picking up Portmanteau, I'm sure you're going to pick up 8 during the course of this event, and even if you didn't, you can pick up some ingredients and you'll be able to get that silver key to at least unlock some other stuff if you want. Next up is just to unlock 5 of those Portmanteau. Again, the whole point of the event is walking them and unlocking them. So you really have, 18th, 19th, 20th, you have 3 days essentially to do it, to walk 5 kilometers at different times. You just make sure to stay on top of it so that when you do finish walking one, you remember to go in and put your gold key in the next one. If you're not using silver keys, if you're using silver keys, really same philosophy. You do want to make sure you keep checking, even if you're not actively playing. Just check, make sure to put it in. I know Adventure Sync isn't working for some people too, which is why I also think this is maybe not the greatest time for this event. But it is what it is. So if your adventure sync's not working, that's even harder because you need to have the game open. But again, I feel like you just need to stay vigilant to make sure you're not wasting any distance when you can be getting it without having keys in or moving the keys down to the next portmanteau you want to unlock. Oh, you get 5 gold coins if you do unlock those 5. And then the next 3 tasks are just to recover 1 fragment from the Paris Street, 1 from Newt's Menagerie, and 1 from Circus Maximus, or Circus Arcanus. Those 3, it's just the 3 different pages. They just want you to get at least 1 fragment. Again, if you unlock 3, oh, actually, maybe not. Your luck actually would depend. It might take you more portmanteau to do it, depending on what your luck is when you get those. But you just essentially need to get to each of these locations once, and you should have at least that fragment. And you're going to get some spell energy, some snowdrop, and an extimulo potion if you do those 3 things right there. And if you do all that, you'll end up getting the final rewards you can see at the bottom here, which is a little bit of experience, 40 gold, and some spell energy. So again, if you didn't do the tasks at all, it probably wouldn't matter. But again, if you're participating in this event, there's a good chance all of these are going to get done. You don't have to look at them. Just play the game, pick up portmanteau, walk them, and at some point come back to this page and just look at the special tasks, and you'll probably have completed them at that point. We've still got a few days before this event even begins, and there's really nothing I can think of to prep for this, unless the only thing I can think of is if you do have any silver keys or you earn any in the next couple days and you like to use them on other portmanteau, you might save them and just hold on to any that you do have. I know I have maybe about 20 silver keys, a little over 20 silver keys that I've saved up because I really don't use them much. I mainly am very thrifty with my gold key, and I will just move that gold key down, and mainly because I'm waiting for dragon events or events like this where you have a limited time and you need to open things quickly if you want to get the most out of it. So this will be an event where I'm sure I'll use silver keys to get through it. Anyway, I hope this video helps you get prepared, although there's not much to prepare for this event. As always, thank you guys for watching this video. It is great to be back, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Nox.